Welcome. Retirement at age 60 versus 65. Most people assume that waiting longer to retire is always the smarter, safer choice. After all, if you work until you reach 65, you earn more money, you can save more, and you give your investments more time to grow. But here's the truth. There are hidden costs to waiting too long. Sometimes retiring at 65 instead of 60 doesn't just cost you 5 years of freedom, it can also cost you opportunities, financial, personal, and even health related, that you may never get back. In this video, we'll explore the difference between retiring at age 60 versus 65 and why waiting isn't always the risk-free option it appears to be. Hi, I'm Hank Persia, president and owner of Starboard Wealth Advisors. I help retirees and pre-retirees create tax-efficient income plans so they can retire with confidence and enjoy the years they've worked so hard for. Today, we're going to talk about something that surprises a lot of people: why delaying retirement to 65 might not always be in your best interest, and what those 5 extra years could really cost you. And if you're trying to decide whether retiring early makes sense for you, feel free to book a time with me using the link in the description below. Point number 1, 5 more years of savings isn't always 5 more years of security. It's easy to look at a retirement calculator and think, if I work 5 more years, I'll have a bigger nest egg, and that automatically means I'll be safer. On paper, that logic makes sense. You keep earning a paycheck, you make 5 more years of contributions to your 401k or IRA, and you're not withdrawing yet, so your portfolio has a chance to grow. But here's what I see all the time when I sit down with people in their late 50s and 60s. Those extra 5 years of savings only help if you have a strategy for how that money will be used. If you just keep contributing without planning for future withdrawals, you could actually create a tax problem for yourself. Why? Because those extra contributions mean your pre-tax accounts, your 401k or IRA, will be even larger when you hit 73, or whatever the IRS required minimum distribution, RMD, age is when you retire. And when RMDs hit, the IRS forces you to take out a certain percentage of those accounts every single year, whether you need to or not. That forced income can push you into a higher tax bracket in your 70s and 80s, cause more of your Social Security benefits to be taxed, and even increase your Medicare premiums. So yes, saving more is good, but without a coordinated withdrawal plan, you could turn a good thing into a tax burden. Point number 2, you give up 5 prime years of your life. When you're deciding to retire at 60 versus 65, there's a non-financial factor that matters just as much: time. The years between 60 and 65 are for many people some of the healthiest, most active years of their life. This is when you may still have the energy to travel, spend time with grandkids, pick up hobbies, or simply to enjoy your freedom. I've seen this happen more times than I can count. Someone waits until 65 thinking they're doing the responsible thing, and by the time they finally step away, their health has changed. Their energy isn't the same, and the active retirement they pictured is no longer possible. Those 5 years are valuable, and you can't get them back. This doesn't mean that everyone should retire at 60, but it is a reminder that the decision is more than just numbers. Point number 3, you may miss key tax planning windows. Here's something most people never consider. Retiring at 60 could give you 5 important years for tax planning. Think about it. If you retire at 60, there's usually a gap between when your work income stops and when you start Social Security and RMDs. Those gap years can be a golden opportunity to convert pre-tax accounts to Roth accounts at a lower tax rate, to realize some capital gains in your taxable accounts while your income is lower, or to pull money out of retirement accounts on your own schedule rather than waiting until the IRS requires it. This window gives you flexibility, but if you keep working until 65, you may shorten or completely eliminate that window. That means the very year you retire, you may also start Social Security, Medicare, and soon after RMDs. At that point, your tax planning options become much more limited. Point number 4, sequence of return risk doesn't go away. A lot of people think, if I work 5 more years, I'll have a bigger portfolio and that will protect me from market risk. But here's the truth. Market risk doesn't disappear just because you've worked longer. The biggest danger isn't a market downturn in general. It's a downturn that happens in the first few years after you start drawing income from your portfolio. This is called sequence of returns risk. If you retire at 60, your portfolio is at risk. If you retire at age 65, your portfolio is still at risk. The only difference is timing. If you have a thoughtful income and investment plan, you can protect yourself from this risk regardless of when you retire. But if you work 5 more years thinking that bigger balances will protect you on their own, you might be surprised at how vulnerable your plan might be. Point number 5, quality of life versus quantity of dollars. The final point is the heart of the discussion. What's your goal? Is it to retire with the largest possible balance sheet, or is it to retire while you still have the health, time, and flexibility to do what matters to you? There's no right answer that applies to everyone. For some, working to age 65 makes sense. They truly enjoy their work, they want a larger income base, and they prefer the certainty of a few more years of contributions. For others, those 5 years come at too high a cost. In my conversations with clients, we always talk about trade-offs. What do those extra 5 years really buy you, and what do they cost you in terms of time and life experiences? Money is a tool. The question is, how do you want to use it? So let's step back and look at the bigger picture. The decision to retire at 60 versus 65 is about much more than just 5 extra years of paychecks. It affects your taxes, your retirement income plan, your investments, and maybe most importantly, how you want to spend some of the healthiest, most active years of your life. Working until 65 certainly provides benefits. You save money, you may have fewer years of withdrawals, your Social Security benefit will likely be larger, but there are some very real costs to waiting. You may end up with larger pre-tax accounts that push you into higher tax brackets later. You could miss out on valuable tax planning windows between 60 and 65, and you give up 5 years of time that you can't get back. For some people, the math clearly favors retiring at 65. For others, the value of time outweighs the value of more dollars. The key is that this decision should never be made on the assumption or rules of thumb. It should be made with a clear, written plan that shows you how much income you can reliably generate, how to reduce your taxes over your lifetime, and how your plan will hold up if the markets don't behave perfectly. If you're approaching the decision to retire at age 60, 65, or somewhere in between, and you want to understand exactly what those 5 years mean for you, now is the time to take a closer look. Let's talk. Click the link in the description below to book a consultation with me. We'll walk through your numbers, your goals, and the trade-offs so you can make this decision with clarity and confidence. You've worked decades for this moment. Make sure the choice you make about when to retire works for you, not against you. Remember, at Starboard Wealth Advisors, your financial destination is why we're here. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, make sure to watch our other videos for more clear, no fluff retirement guidance, or contact us for a simple phone or Zoom call.